Happy Spookies, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, having a most excellent spooky month so far. And today's video is going to be all about 2019's Haunt, which is a Shudder exclusive. It was written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Now, this is the creative duo who went and wrote A Quiet Place. Also, Eli Roth actually helped produce this movie right here. Now, the movie stars Katie Stevens as Harper. We have Will Britton as Nate, Lauren Alyssa McLean as Bailey, and Andrew Caldwell as Evan, who I will say you are either going to love or hate this guy. I think it's a mixture of both, most likely, if you dig this person. I don't know. He was like my favorite character in the freaking movie.
I'm a professional in the rideshare business. I can't just give you a free ride because you're my buddies. Oh, no. It's not fair to the paying customers. I'm all about fairness.
But this movie centers all around Harper and her friends on Halloween night, where they end up finding a flyer for an extreme haunt, and they all end up deciding, why not? It's Halloween night, let's fucking do it. But once they get there, they realize something may seem a little off from the place, and of course, one by one, they start being picked off by the people that work there. Now, I believe this movie is only streaming on Shudder. It's a little of a slow burn, I will give it that. I think it takes around, I remember I've seen it before, but what's really neat is that Joe Bob hosted this on the last drive-in, and there's a lot of little factoids that they try to give out about the movies. And the first kill goes around 30 minutes or so it takes its time in the first act trying to set up either the characters, and they do an excellent job of setting up Harper and her backstory without like shoving it down your face. They always call it an exposition dump, but this is like very little subtle things. We find out through a conversation that she hasn't had a very good past with her parents, even though she tries to play it off. Through text messages that we see her and her boyfriend are having issues right now. I mean, she's covering up a bruise like right at the very beginning. She's staying at her friend's house. They get like a pumpkin thrown at their house. And it's all these subtle little things that play into a grander theme for her and her arc in this movie. I thought was just excellent. Somebody dealing with trauma. And one thing I saw on Twitter was when I posted about this movie, I watched it recently, and they're like, "Oh, I really like this movie, but I didn't like the stuff with the boyfriend. I just thought it was kind of needless." And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this is somebody that's dealing with trauma in the movie. You need this boyfriend there to kind of help her overcome this fucking abusive alcoholic, and so in doing so, overcoming him, it helps her overcome the ultimate like evil. And like I said, they don't shove this down your throat. It's not one of these movies where it's gonna be like that. It's very subtle little like hints at what's going on with her life and her backstory, and then we have the main story still going on, which I thought was excellent due to the cast. Evan was my favorite character of all of them. They were just...
What do you mean, what the fuck am I supposed to be?
Yeah.
Front of a human centipede. Other two dudes just bailed, so now I'm walking around looking like a fucking jackass.
I don't know, he was just like the most fucking hilarious one. He has a lot of funny lines in the movie. One thing I want to say about this movie is it is aesthetically pleasing. Like, it is a beautiful looking film, and it's crazy because it was done on such a I don't know if it was a low budget, but it was done like basically in one setting. I think Old Dairy Mill or Dairy something. It was some old dairy building. They used to do some shit in there. But there's a lot of fluorescent lights and a lot of like things that brighten the scene. It just make it look so damn good, dude. And it's a lot gorier than you actually expect. It's always like one of those things where they show it really quick and they cut away, and you kind of just left with your imagination to kind of like, oh, dude, what the hell? Did they really just do that? I love the opening scene of this movie. It's not really a spoiler. It just opens up with people setting up the haunt and everything. People are tying a string, but they're setting up extra little like traps. And I will say that the ending is somewhat bittersweet. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. That's like the best way I can think about it. The bittersweet ending, because there is a bitter moment, like an event that occurs that's like, oh shit, that really just happened, dude. Fuck. But then like the ultimate like conclusion of it's like, oh fuck yeah, dude, that was badass. But yeah, go ahead and check this out on Shudder. I hope you all have a great day. Happy Spookies.